Hey guys, welcome back to the homestead. So today in our easy campaign, we're going to be doing one of the easy things that I've been doing around here on the homestead for quite some time. Um, Most people are magnesium deficient, and that magnesium deficiency can cause a lot of issues. You can take pills, and there's a bunch of different ways to do it. But if you're really just trying to get something where you can incorporate more magnesium into your world, something that's easy, simple, and not extremely expensive, this is kind of a good way to go about it. So what we've done here, I have my large container of magnesium. We're going to use a quarter cup of, I think it's no, it's a half a cup of magnesium, 3 tablespoons of organic olive oil, a half a cup of tallow, about 3 tablespoons of coconut butter, but you can swap out shea butter if that's what you have. And then we take a half a cup of water, and I'll put the full recipe below so you guys don't have to scurry to write all this down. But we used a half a cup of water with our magnesium to dissolve it. And so with that, right, I use distilled water, right? Whenever it's going to be something that's going to be sitting on my shelf or something that I'm going to apply to myself to be absorbed in my skin, I prefer distilled water or boiled water, right, to make sure there's no impurities. It depends on if you want to just regular bottled water will work as well. But we just don't want to be taking any old tap water and making sure that it's clean and not full of chlorine or anything like that. That's going to kind of counteract what we're trying to do here. So what I have done, like I said, I have taken my water and got it to where it was almost at that boiling point. And then I put my magnesium flakes in there, and I've just kind of stirred it around until they were dissolved. So from now, I mean, it looks like water. And then over here, I have taken all my solids and I have put them in my double boiler to kind of melt down, so that way we've got a consistency there. So you guys can see better what's going on. This is actually done. I'm going to move it all over to this glass jar. And so you see all of our solids have now become liquids. We're just going to let that cool for a little bit, but not so much that it starts to solidify again. And then you're going to want some sort of tinted jar. These are my little purple tinted jars. I don't know if you can tell. They've also got ambers and stuff like that. But anytime you're making these lotions, it's better to put them into tinted jars if you have them. If you don't have them, then just start with a smaller batch, right? Because you don't want to just sit it anywhere. So that's turned off. That's turned off. So what we're going to do now, starting to cool a little bit, and you're going to take your immersion blender and you're going to start to blend this little bit by little bit, pulsing. So you can see that the color and the consistency is starting to change a little bit. And then you're going to take your magnesium mixture that you already have with the water, and you're going to slowly pour this over your immersion blender while you're blending it with your oils and stuff. And from this point, you just blend it until you get a consistency that you like. Remembering that this is going to solidify a little bit as it cools. And you can always come in and stir it, because if you make any like drawing salves and stuff and you put them together, you come back and stir them the whole time so you get the consistency you like. So now I'm just going to pour this in my jar. And then we'll wait for this to cool a little bit checking on the consistency as we go. You see, it's already starting to gel up a little bit. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to make massive amounts of this. Like I said, there is water in this. So anytime you're putting water in things, they're not necessarily shelf stable for long periods of time. That's a tricky word to say apparently today. So you're just going to want to make a small enough batch, right, that you can leave it sitting for anytime that you want to use it and know you're going to use it for a while. Just keep an eye on it, of course, making sure nothing weird grows in it. We don't want to apply weird things to us. So as you can see, this, I don't know if you can see it really well or not, but this is actually starting to firm up quite nicely. And then what you'll do after it cools, and I leave the top off while it's cooling, do you see it's got a lotion consistency to it now, which is nice. Now here's the thing with magnesium. Most people don't realize it, but they go out and they get this magnesium stuff and they spray it all over their body and they apply it to their arms and their legs and everything. And for some people, that's great. I have a higher tolerance on my skin, so I can apply it just about anywhere I want. My husband, on the other hand, he's a little bit more sensitive, right? So if I apply it to his legs, usually his legs cramp, right, because of his lack of magnesium. So if I apply it to his legs, they burn the whole time. So the easiest thing to do is I take it and I apply it to your feet before you go to bed. So now before this completely cools, but you want it to wait until it cools down a little bit, we're going to apply some lavender essential oil to it. You don't want to stir in your essential oils while it's too warm or still in that boiling area. But I think the lavender is kind of nice. It adds that little extra touch, and then you can just kind of stir it in before it cools completely. And now it'll have a nice lavender scent. If you want to use chamomile, anything you want, or you can leave it unscented. I find with tallow, sometimes there is a slight scent. So using essential oils is helpful. But if it doesn't bother you, then don't do it. And then use as much as you want to get it to the scent level that you want, right? That's the great thing about making these things from scratch, is you can control how much scent is in these things. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think this is actually one of the easier ways to get magnesium in our diet. I'm going to wipe off the top. This will sit and cool, and when it's really cool to the touch and has no warmth to it, then we'll put our top back on, and it'll usually sit by my bed so I can apply it to my feet before I go to sleep at night. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. I think this is, like I said, an easy way to kind of get some of this stuff incorporated to your life. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg, right? You don't have to go and pay $50 and $60 for a jar when you can make it yourself. And you can use these for other things, right? You can take this magnesium and you can sprinkle it in your bath at night. You can use your tallow for other things. Of course, everybody uses olive oil at plenty. And your shea butter and your coconut butter. If you don't like those, you can leave it out. That's the great thing about this, is you can make it to your own liking and what you want. Now, what I actually did start today, we're going to work on this in about 6 weeks, but I took castor oil, apricot oil, yam root, and chasteberries and put them in here. So we're going to let these infuse for about 6 weeks, and then we're going to make a wonderful lotion out of those. So I hope you guys come back to watch that. But we're going to let that sit there, and we're going to come by and shake that at least once or twice a day until it fully infuses. But yeah, so I think this was pretty easy. I wanted to throw something out there that wasn't bread or anything like that, but this was something that I have on hand at all times to make sure that we can get the magnesium in our body, especially during this time of year, right, when a lot of us are trapped inside, and the vegetables and the fruits and the sun just aren't there like they normally are in the summertime. Quick, easy, painless way to do this yourself. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.